I wonder if it's possible to make yogurt at home without any special gadgets. Hey guys! Every once in a while I get asked if it's possible to make yogurt without the Instant Pot because I have this video which I'll link up here. Yes, it is possible. You can make yogurt without any kind of a yogurt maker or an Instant Pot or pressure cooker or anything like that. So I just want to run through it and show you guys how I do this. I kind of flip-flop back and forth. Sometimes I use the Instant Pot, sometimes I don't. So let me just run through all the ingredients and tools and everything that you need. It's nothing special. I would say the most special item that you need is a thermometer. Let's go over the things that we need. I'm going to use half a gallon of whole milk. You can use 2% or organic. You can use goat milk. The one that you cannot use is lactose free because the bacteria that creates the yogurt feeds off the lactose, which is sugar, in the milk. So that won't work for you. Half a gallon is equivalent to 1.89 liters. You're going to need 2 tablespoons of plain yogurt. It can be plain or Greek as long as it's not flavored. And I have here 2 that I'm showing you. There's the Fage and then a little one in a Tupperware. The Fage is what I normally use as my starter, but I'm using what I have left over from my last batch. I have a small bowl or a ramekin, a tablespoon, a thermometer, a bowl, and a strainer, 2 coffee filters, and ice. A pan to cook or to heat up your milk in. So first what I'm going to do is take my pan and I'm going to scald the milk. I'm going to turn this just a little bit past medium, maybe about medium high. Pour all of my milk in here. And this is going to take quite a while. It's right now 12:24 and you'll get to see how long that takes. It's now 12:48 and I can tell that this is starting to get really warm because if you can see, there are a bunch of little bubbles and I can see a film, and if I move the thermometer across the top, you'll see the film move. So I'm just going to check the temperature, and I can tell on the bottom. Let's see if you can hear this. You can hear how it has kind of, I guess, burnt the milk on the bottom, and that's okay. I am just now hitting 180 degrees. It's 12:54, so that process took 30 minutes to get up to this temperature, so it's about the same as if you were to use the Instant Pot. So I'll turn off the stove and walk you over to the sink, which I've already put ice in and water. Just make sure you don't get any water inside your pan. This will cool it down really fast. I like to stir it just a little bit so that I don't end up with any hot or cold spots. I'm trying to get down to 115 degrees. Now, if I were to add my yogurt to this when the temperature is any higher than 115, it will kill the bacteria or the live cultures in the yogurt, and then you won't have yogurt in the end. I like mine to be between 110 and 115. Once it gets down to 115 degrees, I'm going to take it out and pour it into a stainless steel bowl that I have. You can use stainless steel or any type of a ceramic or glass bowl. You don't want to use plastic because bacteria can stay in the plastic, so make sure that you use something that is not porous. My milk is at the temperature where I want it. I'm just going to pour it into this bowl. And let me show you what the inside of my pan looks like, just for reference. And now I'm just going to take this yogurt that I have from a previous batch and use about 2 tablespoons, which is approximately what I have in here. I'm going to pour it into this little ramekin. And then what I'm going to do is take some of the milk out of here that's been heated up. And I only like to do this so that I don't end up with a huge glob of yogurt somewhere in this big bowl. Once I don't see any large chunks, then I feel like it's okay to go ahead and pour this in. So I just pour that in, give this a little stir, make sure that I have the yogurt throughout my bowl. And then I am going to cover this. I should have mentioned this. I've made it both ways. I've made it covered and uncovered. So you don't need a tight seal. I'm just going to layer this on top of it. Take a towel, which I also failed to mention, but I'm going to just loosely wrap it around the bowl, and I'm going to put it in the oven. Now, don't turn the oven on, and if you need to, even make yourself a little reminder note on your oven that says do not turn on. Place this inside the oven. If it's really cold where you are, you might want to turn the light on. That's okay, it's not going to disturb anything. It just keeps your oven at a good warm temperature. So right now, as you can see, it's 1:05. I'm going to come back in 8 hours and show you what it looks like. As you guys can see, it's been about 8 hours since we put the yogurt mix into the oven, so I'm going to take it out and see the result. Ooh, that looks good. Alright, so this is how it turned out. We'll take the saran off. Can you see how that jiggles? It's not really thick. The thickness will come in the straining. So that's what you need your extra pot, your strainer, and your coffee filters for. So I have this really large strainer and I put 2 coffee filters in here, and then I'm just going to pour this on top. Let me give you a little visual of this yogurt. So some people might like it this way. We prefer it a little bit thicker. It's not going to be as thick. I'm not going to make it as thick as I did in my Instant Pot video. I'm just going to strain it for about an hour and a half or so. I'm just going to pour this in. And if you see any yellow liquid, that's the whey. Some people like to keep the whey and they make bread and other things with it. Some people give it to their dogs. I personally don't have a use for it, so I dump it down the drain. Being lactose intolerant and knowing that a lot of the lactose is in the whey, I choose not to keep it. So this is all that's going to fit into my strainer, and you can already see the whey starting to separate. And some of the yogurt is actually dripping outside of the coffee filters, but that's okay. And I forgot to mention you can use coffee filters or cheesecloth. So what I'm actually going to do, since I have this left over, I'm going to pour this into the container that we store yogurt in. And I'm not going to strain that. What I am going to do though is reserve some of this for my next batch before I add any flavoring or sweeteners. That's way too much. I don't need that much. So I'm just saving a couple tablespoons. That's really all I need. And we'll just put this in the refrigerator. This yogurt will keep about, just like store-bought, about 7 to 10 days. You can actually go longer than that, really. It's a personal preference. So I'm actually going to put this in the refrigerator. I'm going to put this one in the refrigerator while it strains as well. I know I forgot to mention that in my last video. So this will strain in the refrigerator, and you can check it every so often and see if it's at about the thickness that you want. Okay guys, it is 11:33, so obviously this has been sitting for an extra 2 hours straining. That's how much whey came out of the yogurt. And I'm not sure it's quite as thick as we want, but being that it's 11:30, I'm just going to go ahead and combine these. And then I will also show you how I sweeten it. So you'll see off to the side I have some agave and some vanilla extract, and that's all I use. I'm actually not going to take all of this out. I'll let the rest strain overnight. This agave here, you can use any kind of sweetener, I suppose, and I really just put it all on there. that was vanilla extract that I have. And let me just remind you that before you do this, you should have already taken some of your yogurt out so that you can reserve it for your next batch, so you don't have to buy more yogurt. So I'm just going to mix this in really well, and you can taste it along the way. Make sure that it's just how you want it. This looks so creamy. This looks really good. But see how it's not really thick? That's why I'm going to strain the rest of this, and then I'll just combine it tomorrow. So that, my friends, is how you make yogurt without any kind of special gadgets. You don't need an electric pressure cooker. You don't need a yogurt maker or any kind of incubator. Like I said, the fanciest thing you need is just a thermometer. That's it. And hopefully you guys give this a try. Let me know if you do. Give me a thumbs up if you liked the video, if it helped you. I would love to know. I love hearing from you guys. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't. And thank you so much for watching. Bye, guys.